in college at the age of 21, and the rest is history. So we know, beautiful Sarah, for all of our paper crafting, but
now
enter
we do sewing.
Sewing.
Now we do. Sarah has been learning to sew.
I love it.
And actually, what I've done is I've tried to cross that boundary because you know one of the hottest trends at the moment is what they say multimedia. So crossing across the different crafts. And this first item that I've got to show you absolutely hits that. I've designed a range called So Lovely, and across the course of the day you'll see loads of it. I've got some paper craft elements coming up in the next hour. Through the night I had some bag making, we had some flower making. And what I'm going to show you now is cross stitch. So a fantastic craft, but taking cross stitch into your paper craft projects. So what you get in the kit, if I show you first of all, you are getting 2 of our dies. You know I'm a huge fan of the dies, Bobby Ray, so you get 2 sets of the dies, which are going to be the multimedia dies and let you cut into different surfaces. I'm going to show you that in just a second. You also get a set of embroidery stamps. So these are so that you can fake it if you want. You can make it look like you've done cross stitch without having to cross stitch. But if you do want to do the cross stitch, I've even included this beautiful set of embroidery threads, which I've hand selected for you, right? Yes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you can be making.
And I should also tell everyone this was brand new, saved for the hour, and I have to tell you, from now all the way through the next hour, we have tons of things that are like first airing.
Loads of So Lovely. So this is what we're talking about now, embroidery with ribbon. This has been die cut, so we've die cut our own mini embroidery hoop and embroidered the ribbon. This is where we faked it. So this is where we've just stamped and then not done the cross stitch. We've made it look like cross stitch. Now, whether you're wanting to do beautiful cards, whether you're wanting to do true multimedia projects like this, I mean, this, I think, is the most incredible little masterpiece.
I love that, yes.
Or, those of you who do love your fabric, this is one of the bags from our bag making collection that we had on overnight. We've stamped onto here, I'm going to show you this, and then actually cross-stitched over the stamp, so we've used it as a pattern. So you're getting all these different elements within the collection. Now, I think it's about time to show you exactly
I think it is too.
Works,
and by the way, we have a great price for everyone, a fall price on it, and not a lot of quantity, I believe, to go around, $29.95, and also on your FlexPay at $14.98 a payment. You know, I've never seen anything like this offered here at HSN before.
I've never done anything like this. Now, what I've done is I've taken one of the dies. Now, you'll notice these dies are a different colour to the dies I usually have. That's because these are multimedia dies. So they're made in a completely different way. They're a cast metal, which means they're much thicker, they're much stronger, and they can go through things like balsa wood and mount board. And actually, I didn't know how far I could push the machine, so I tried the balsa wood and the mount board at the same time. Yeah. And actually,
you did them both. Wow. Which means so I can do leather then, right, with this as well?
Or so look at this.
Several layers of fabric also.
There is my, can you see, it's cut through the mount board, no problem. And then there's the balsa wood. And all I need to do is sit and pop all these out. Right. I actually have one where I've sat and popped them all out for you, right? So here's what we're going to do. I've made now my own little stitching. Right? I'm going to take the wood one and stick it over the top, so it now looks like we've got a wood effect on the outside. This is where we're going to start and do some of our embroidery.
I love it.
So what I've got is, I've got one I've kind of already started. This is something you could be doing with the kids. Now, this is the embroidery thread that's included. Instead of threading it into a needle, all I've done is popped a little bit of glue on the end, so it's kind of stabilised it to make a bit of a point. And now I can literally be going through and threading this through. So it's all about achieving that cross-stitch effect, but in a way that we can take cross-stitch onto our cards.
Cards, right,
so
right,
many
all your
crafters,
different projects, right, your albums.
So many crafters love cross-stitch. Cross-stitch is such a big hobby, but we haven't got the patience to do something in a big way. And card making really was one of the huge, you know, up-and-coming trends so many years ago. So to be able to cross over the two, get that effect, but really quickly, so if you see I've literally threading that through, you can keep going and going. Here's one where I've sat and threaded it into the shape of a heart.
Isn't that beautiful?
And that, of course, will fit exactly inside the hoop that we made. So we've die cut our own hoop, we've die cut our own centerpiece, and then actually to finish off the whole card, all I've done is stuck that onto the front of a card. These are some of the stamps that we've got coming up later, some of the little threads, these are in the embellishment pack we've got later. Everything speaks together.
And yeah, we talked about that. So everything from the Sarah signature, so lovely. Right, because we have a lot of different things coming up or a lot of things that are online, but it's nice to know that you can combine them all.
Isn't it lovely? What about doing your own little canvases and then bringing them into your canvases? Or, because it's multimedia, we can start and take this across different surfaces. So look how we've used this on the front of a book. So this is some of my faux leather that we had on through the night as well, onto the front of a book. We've then used the cross-stitch designs to cross-stitch onto a t-shirt. Now, what I did want to show, actually, I've got one last thing. Look at this. This is if you want the effect of cross-stitch, but you don't want to sit in cross-stitch. Looking at the camera, you probably think that's being cross-stitched.
It looks like it is.
If you look up close, it hasn't. It's just been stamped. This has been stitched. This has just been stamped. So let me show you. I've got one of those to show you, actually.
That's how we do it.
Right,
easy.
So,
and by the way, come on in as you're placing your order today. We'd love, again, to hear from you. This is brand new, so this is the very first airing of it. I'm not sure if we even have any other airings.
Nope,
I think this is it. So this is the only time you're going to see it today.
So I'm using one of our fabricing pads, which we always have on the website, right? So I can stamp directly onto fabric. And you get that cross-stitch effect, right? And then I can actually stamp multiple ones of these in one go. And I can create my own pattern. And then if I want to go and do this and cross-stitch it, all we would do...
But you're right, it actually looks as if it's already cross-stitched.
So you can get that effect, or you can then take it, pop it into an embroidery hoop, and we can actually do some embroidery with it. So I've got one here that I've already started embroidering. So here, there would be my hoop, and you can start embroidering.
Right.
Here is one actually that I'm working on. So you can see if you want that effect, but you don't want to have sat and done all the work, all I'm going to do now is literally follow through on the cross stitch. I always remember doing cross stitch as a kid with my mum, and the thing that always frustrated me is I never had a pattern to follow.
I was going to say, it gives you that pattern and that diagram so you know exactly where to go.
So all of you stampers out there, and actually it doesn't matter if it's if you use a fabricing pad or not, because chances are you're just wanting this as a guide to follow from. So you can have done all of your pattern stamping, and then if it comes off in the wash, it really doesn't matter. So I can just continue do my embroidery like that. Now that gives you a bit of a feel, right?
How fun.
But actually, if I just show you, I'll just pop that through there. And what I've done is, on the front of this bag, this is exactly what we did. So this is one of the envelope clutch bags from this collection. So we've made the beautiful little bag. And then just before we die cut the front part of the panel, we actually did the embroidery on the front.
How great is that?
Isn't that? And it's just, it's taken advantage of that huge trend at the moment.
Right.
But how do I, yes, we all want to give cross stitch a go, but if you are, if you're like me, you're a huge avid card maker, you want to try a little bit of it, but how do I bring it into my craft? This is the way to do it.
And that's what we're doing today, really, here at HSN, right? This is like the first time.
Bring lots of crafts
because we know, again, how many millions and millions of women out there love doing all the paper crafting. So now's your chance to kind of just create different looks, right? Take it almost to the next level. And you're getting a lot with the configuration today, too.
Remember, these are the multimedia dies. So you watched me die cut, you watched me do it live on air, die cut into mount board. So because they are cast in a different way, you get both of them. You get the circular one and you get the square one. Then the square one is what's being used on this project here. Doesn't it look fantastic? Now that we've just used, we've kind of faked it again. So that's just been stamped using the various stamps and brought together. Isn't that super cool?
I love it.
So you get the two different sizes of those there. And then what we've done I've included the embroidery floss. So you get all 6 colours and you'll find that the colours in the embroidery floss match through to the paper pads. We've got the fabrics, we've got so that you can tie everything together. And then also there are those stamps if you want to, you know, do the faking it and just do the stamped elements.
You can do that as well.
Everything's included. And
we will be giving you all the numbers on all the additional items to go right along with it. But today, $29.95. First airing, only airing.
Only planned airing today. This is the only chance you'll get to see this. And again, look how it works. This is using it with some of the elements we've got coming up in the 10 o'clock show. I'm going to be showing you how we've got the sewing machine, we've got the little, the scissors, all the bits that work together, the bobbins. So if you're really wanting to totally embrace crossing over the crafts, this is the way to get cross-stitch.
This is the way. So we want to tell you about a couple of different items, the Gemini, but the ink pads. Huge customer pick from our spec